How should we introduce this system into a system which has criminal justice and hasn't been, exposed to the advantages of it?
Well, one of the things I like about restorative justice is it's a way to help people stop and think about the assumptions they make every day, like the assumptions about justice, and to have a discussion about, well, what are the real needs in this situation and so forth. To me, one of the starting points is helping those in the criminal justice system understand what their system does right, but also what does wrong. And the criminal justice system does not do very much for victims. Often it re-traumatizes them. It doesn't hold offenders accountable in a meaningful sense, and by that I mean in the sense of taking responsibility, understanding what they did, taking responsibility for it. And it leaves out the larger community. In fact, it often re-victimizes or creates new wounds in the community. So there's some strength to the legal system, strengths to the criminal justice system, but it's got some pretty serious defects. And part of the key is just helping people to understand both of those things.
So would you call it as complementing the criminal justice system?
Well, I mean, if I had an ideal world, we would replace the system with a restorative system. None of us know how a restorative system would actually work. What I like is what they've tried to do with youth justice in New Zealand. They realized that using the criminal justice system for every kind of offense, including serious offenses, is not efficient, that it often backfires, it ties up the court, and so forth. So for serious crime, the court is not the default. Rather, a family group conference is the default. And that's where serious offenses, most serious offenses, are supposed to be sorted out. Only if the offender denies responsibility or if they can't sort it out there are they supposed to go to court. And then after their guilt is decided, they still might go to a restorative conference. So what they've done is change the default. We've taken the worst crimes you can imagine, created a system for it, and we put everybody through it. They're saying, look, let's use that system for what it does best, sorting out some version of truth when everybody's denying it, trying to decide what to do when there's these horrendous crimes that affect the larger community. But let's use a restorative process for the rest of the offenses.
And what are the difficulties you've come by in trying to introduce this?
Well, there's lots of difficulty. One of them is we're still early in this learning curve. We've been doing it 30 years, but we still have a lot we don't know. Another one is there's a lot of resistance. It goes against legal training. There is also a large industry behind the criminal justice system that wants it to stay the way it is. Some people think that it sounds like it's soft on crime, whereas we know that it's really very difficult to take responsibility, but it looks like sometimes that maybe it's soft on crime. And some people just don't care about victims, frankly. I mean, it's not in their job description. So yeah, they admit that victims aren't being served well, but that's not my deal. That's not my job.